Ladies and gentlemen, Christian Blatt is not part of the Blatt cast. He has been removed for reasons both personal, legal, and creative. In his place, however, we have put together possibly the most dynamic trio of geniuses since the Three Stooges. To my wherever direction he is the great Michael Shirley.
The great. I love it. Yeah, that's
All right,
me.
the adequate
The
Michael
adequate.
Shirley, the well above adequate Michael Shirley from what I've read in the Tennessee Times. And below me is Indiana's favorite son,
Yeah,
the pride and joy of BuzzFeed, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Williams Jr.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we gotta put some respect on my dad, so I'm the junior. No, I'm saying I appreciate it. Happy to be here, and hopefully that's the last time we talk about Indiana.
Those Indiana, as Tom
Oh,
Petty once
whoa.
said,
Uh-oh.
those Indiana boys and those Indiana Knights. But
Exactly.
so you might be wondering, why am I not in my lair, surrounded by a collection best described as juvenile, worst described as junk and signs of a troubled mind? Well, to my left, you might see a what looks to be a charred pressure cooker. Well, what happens, as my wife discovered, is when you put a pressure cooker on top of a stovetop, it might catch fire. And thus, I am now outside as my now smoky house continues to reek of plastic. So, as wonderful as it would be to host an episode inhaling the fumes of burnt plastic, instead, I've opted to go outside and have the pressure cooker as a reminder of all of our mortality. And
It's
we've
just
got
not your day.
nah. I'm. There was a play once called the Philadelphia, where Philadelphia is like when everything goes ass backwards. So in essence,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I'm in Philadelphia right now. Although I do come to you
Mhm.
from lovely outdoor Burbank. So we got a few things to talk about. I think I know Michael Shirley is very excited to talk about something that was brought up last week, but has now been maybe confirmed. Michael, are you able to share that article?
Which one?
Patrick Stewart one.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
sure, yeah.
You were my hero, Michael. Thank you.
Yeah, just
So,
do your thing, buddy.
all right. All right. So, basically, last week we were arguing about, is that Patrick Stewart? Is it not? One of you guys, I remember, was thinking it might not be Patrick Stewart.
It was
I'm trying to remember.
Christian, the
Oh, Christian.
soul
Well, got it.
Yeah,
dissenter.
so Christian was saying that his voice sounds different in a TV show that he's in right now.
Please.
And my thing is like his voice is I was like looking at interviews and stuff. His voice don't sound different. I mean, like you still know who Patrick Stewart is. If he says hello to you, you like okay, you don't even need to turn around. You know exactly who he is. And then I just love that this interview is so different than the first interview when he was asked because he was asked about it a week ago, and he was like, "Who's Doctor Strange?" And he played it off so well. This interview, it was the total opposite. He was like, "Yeah, I'm surprised people even knew. Like you could see my ear and my shoulder. I must have had a cold when I was shooting it. Where what were you doing? Were you tired when you had this interview? Like that's a lot of just like going in depth about a movie where you weren't supposed to be told. I mean, you're not even told that you're being in yet.
Yeah, and he had Jeff. I think he's having a hell of a good time, as they say in England, taking a piss. I had my
Yes.
phone turned off as it happened, and so I didn't hear anything. It wasn't until the next morning when I woke up and looked at my phone and found that I had been bombarded with responses, and my PR people had sent me reactions that they had detailed and passed on to me. I actually didn't recognize my own voice. It sounded different. Whether I had a cold or something at the time, I don't know, but I was astonished. And all they saw was the back of my shoulder and I think my earlobe, nothing else. So even the earlobe, right? My shoulder, my earlobe. So I guess that means we are getting the return of, well, not even the return, the entrance of Xavier into the MCU. Michael Shirley, the man who is keeping our tech alive today, what saith you about all these remarkable breaking news?
I think Kimmy Egan said it best when she said Christian was on crack. How the hell do you think that wasn't Sir Patrick Stewart?
And that is all. That is all you
That
have to
is
say on
all.
this topic.
Yeah,
That is
it's
all.
just like what? Yeah, I knew that was him.
Yeah, I think it was maybe more of a whimper than a shot heard around the world. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
he is confirming it, and I guess it then begs the question, gentlemen, like, what does this mean? Is this going to be his one and done? Get in, get a nice check, go home, play with his
Mm,
adorable adopted rescue pups, or is this a sign of more X-Men from years past getting to lace back on their boots? What do you think?
maybe. I don't think we're gonna be seeing Elliot Page being Shadow Cat anytime soon. But other than that, I think probably the first we would probably get would be God, I forgot his name because it's just like so synonymous with Wolverine. Hugh Jackman. I think
Mhm.
it make they love to drag him back in, and he's just. I mean, him and Patrick Stewart have just kind of become synonymous with those characters. Like when you think, of like Christopher Reeves and Superman, like there's always going to be that, one actor that really just embodies that character for like the world at that point in time. And I think they'll always really be strongly tied to these characters. Maybe not so
Yeah.
much an Anna Paquin rogue or like, I don't know. But I could see a seeing Logan again with all this multiverse stuff.
How about
I
you,
would be
Jeff?
I'd be very surprised if we saw Hugh Jackman, because the MCU is looking for the future of the MCU in this phase. Like they're looking for the younger kids that have superpowers, the next phase and everything. And yes, they want to fan service us with Patrick Stewart and showing us like what we know as the X-Men. But at that same token, how long is Patrick Stewart willing to be in the MCU?
Until he
Realistically, we're not.
dies.
I mean, but that's what we hope. Like we hope he plays it until then. But like realistically, how long does he want to play? How long does Hugh Jackman want to play that role? And
Well,
then
I don't
when
think they
he,
do anymore. Kind of like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, but like
so it's
look at
like,
how things are now.
yeah, but would you want to bring in Hugh Jackman into the MCU and then try to start a new Wolverine that's like he might just overshadow the new Wolverine. That's where my issues
Do you
are.
think
I
Tobey
see.
Maguire overshadowed Tom Holland
No,
in
because
the
Tom
new
Holland already had
Spider-Man?
2 movies. Tom
Okay.
Holland already had 2 movies. So I'm saying if there's a Wolverine that's new, that's already established in the MCU, and then you bring back Hugh Jackman as like a tease, mentor, fan service, whatever, sure. But if you bring Hugh Jackman in, you show us who Wolverine could be, who he is, who we know, and like, okay, that's not our Wolverine though. So like, I don't know about that. We're gonna go to a different one. I don't think it's gonna hit the same as like the Spider-Man's coming back.
I don't
I think
mean
it's a
it
different.
right now, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's out of the question to see him again.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can see
What?
that. I can definitely see that with Deadpool. I think he'll just like go jump different dimensions
Oh
and then
yeah.
like pull out and like just like come up for like one scene or so.
So
You
you
know,
do think that I'm right?
Yeah, I was talking about but we were talking about for this movie, and I said no,
Oh
I don't
no, I
see it.
don't think we're gonna see anything like that in this movie.
Yeah, okay, that's where I'm coming from, and I was like, I just don't. I don't think it makes sense for this movie.
Yeah, and I think one of the issues with like Jackman or not, is the end of Logan was such a perfect send off for him. Which, in my humble opinion, which means Michael Shirley probably disagrees, but that's okay. That's why I love him, or feel strongly about him. I don't want to call it love just yet, But I think that was such a send off. I mean, Logan getting to finally sort of see Wolverine be Wolverine, seeing what it looks like in R-rated landscape for one of his blades to go through a dude's skull. I mean, but then the emotional drama, like him and Patrick Stewart both giving like maybe their best performances within the comic book universe. And so it's going to be tough. I mean, if they want to bring him back, I mean, I'll be there in a heartbeat. I'll be there in a heartbeat anyway. But it's going to feel kind of like diminishing returns potentially, go out
I
on
think
top.
this is a really good comment that he could be an old man Logan.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see some of this old man Hawkeye, old man Logan, all this stuff coming up with all these older actors that are gonna be phasing out.
Well, and also after the reviews, the Music Man just got on Broadway. I don't know. He might be. He might be like, all right, maybe I'll just go back and put on those blades.
I cannot take that man seriously in like those kind of tights.
I don't think he wears tights in the Music Man, but I don't know what version of it you've seen.
Oh, I bet he does in practice.
Well, Jeff, are you upset because Music Man misrepresents Indiana?
Yeah, actually, they can misrepresent Indiana as much as they want. My affinity for Indiana is very little.
What's
I have
with
a lot
the
of great
hate for like
I don't know.
entire
It's just like
two?
Well, the thing is, like, I'm originally born in Ohio, so like Indiana is just where I went to college and a little bit of high school. So I have friends there, but like I rep Ohio all day. But Indiana,
Buckeye over Hoosier.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Understood.
If you ask me if I'm a Hoosier or Buckeye, like it's a Buckeye all day. I have Buckeyes hanging from my window car, like in my dashboard, and I've had it since I've been able to drive. So
What are
that's
Hoosiers and what are
Buckeyes? You took away my follow-up question, which was, Michael, what do you prefer, the Hoosiers or the Buckeyes?
What is a Hoosier?
A Hoosier is a person that's in Indiana, and like their Indiana University, their mascot is a Hoosier, and it's like some basketball ties, and like that's just it's a basketball state. Ohio, the Ohio State Buckeye is like a nut pretty much, and it's just like a little Buckeye.
A nut?
Yeah, like a little peanut.
Yeah, Buckeye.
And like a Buckeye, and like that is the mascot for the Ohio State University. And I was raised in Columbus, Ohio, so like that's like blood right there.
You can't go to the grocery store and be like, "Could I have some Buckeyes?"
Yes, you can. In Ohio, you can.
In Ohio, you can.
No, but that's in West Hollywood. It's a code word, actually.
They're like, "Oh yeah, you want some Buckeye?"
Some Buckeye peas.
Oh,
I don't know.
True.
Speaking of, someone mentioned that they had a similar thing happen with their pressure cooker. And what were they trying to cook? Oh, I'll find it later. But apparently, someone's grandma did the same thing to their cooker as we did. So thank you for feeling my pain out there, you wonderful Marvelites.
Yes,
let's jump over let's jump over to another topic, which is recently. And Michael, if you could share this article too, I'd be forever in your debt. Don Cheadle. So we knew Don Cheadle was coming back.
Oh, I don't want to share this one. I'm just kidding. He's no Terrence Howard, as I always say.
Do you always say that? Like
I always ask Christian. I've been saying it for like 5 years.
So when Don Cheadle showed up in Iron Man 2, said, "Yeah, to me, get over it." You didn't get over it.
No, it's like old Becky, new Becky, Roseanne for me. I just can't. I can't handle that.
I like him, but it reminds me of the new mom on Fresh Prince when the new Aunt Viv. I was like, ooh.
Oh man, I like that.
Yeah, well, if you want to go real old school, the two Darrens. But
is his next Marvel appearance a different character?
No. Scroll down if you'd be so kind. So you were controlling the media. You were the master of media today, Michael.
It's not even like, yeah, there it is, right there. It says where.
What?
If you keep it going, I think it shows. There's
no one wants to read this. You read it to him.
I'm not reading it.
It's a picture. It's a picture.
Oh, okay.
There it is. Thank you. So in essence, it looks like he's going to be showing up in Secret Invasion.
In a newspaper.
That's it. They hired him just to put him in a newspaper.
Also, they casted a new person as a president. I don't know who that person is. I saw it online earlier today. Like, it's a well-known actor, but they have a new what it looks like to be president of the United States.
I wonder if something happened to the other one. These ads, man.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
they're a little bit of an eyesore. So I mean, now that Don Cheadle's been doing it though for 10 years, where do you land on him, Jeff? We've heard Michael's, very strong
No.
opinion on these
Yeah.
matters. I will get back to you, Michael, because I always feed off your hate. You know that.
No, I enjoy Don Cheadle in his role in this film or in the films in the MCU and stuff. But like I enjoy him as an actor, so that doesn't really mean much. So like that, but having Terrence Howard in that role, I feel like he plays someone that's not really a second fiddle. Like he is a personality, and people love him for that. And I feel like the MCU didn't want a personality in the role for Bucky, and that's why I feel like they changed it to Don Cheadle, who fits more of the corporate.
Bucky.
Uh, uh,
Listen,
um,
Buckeye.
whatever, Rhodey, who fits more of the PC demographic. But I'm a
Yeah.
fan of his acting as a whole.
Well, Michael, what are you thinking? So, is your Don
John
Cheadle
Cheadle
issues
could go.
does it expand beyond the MCU? Is what I was going to ask.
I'm not a Don Cheadle fan. I'm not. I'm just not. I mean, the physicality from Terrence Howard was so just like off. Like it's almost insulting. Like you can't just like replace a light-skinned black man with like a really dark-skinned, like skinny black man and be like, "Oh, it's fine." That's like really like come on. Like Jeff, like don't you find that like insulting? Like, "Oh, he's black." Like
I
And
mean,
now
but
representing all African Americans.
yeah, no, I'm definitely not representing anyone except myself in this
No,
answer.
but
But like to your point though, like his character is is fiction in a sense. So like anyone, if they like the skin tone of the black person really didn't matter to me, I think it'd be different if it was I think people would have a bigger argument if it was a dark skinned person being replaced for a light skinned person, because that's happened in more traditional senses, and like the lighter skinned person being more PC appropriate for just traditional media. But like I see where you're going with this.
I just feel like
It
they
just
picked
didn't.
who they wanted, and they
Yeah,
didn't
and
give
that's why
any account
that's what I
to
meant by the
like.
PC part. Like it fits for them. It works for them, and I think that's where we're kind of in the same boat at. But I mean, yeah.
Well, and Jeff, you bring up a really good point. I mean, as far as Terrence Howard brought something really different to that role, and I mean, I loved Terrence Howard in the first Iron
This
Man.
is a
I just,
problem here too, though.
yeah,
Like a white guy shouldn't talk about race. It's awkward. Like that right there is why it's awkward. Like it's not awkward.
It's not. So like, we shouldn't even have brought that comment up if it's not awkward though.
yeah.
No,
everybody,
it's not.
everybody
I
has
think more
opinions.
white people
Yeah.
should talk about race. Like you can't be colorblind anymore.
Wow. So we've not only covered the different kinds of nuts we're now getting in the race. I mean, Marvel movie talk today. We're going in lots of dangerous,
Yeah, we're
unique
getting
places.
deep.
But one thing I just want to throw back to Terrence Howard, because it really is about the idea of like, okay, who is that character? Like, what does that character's place? And in Iron Man, he's not a sidekick. He's more than that. Like, there's so much to what he brings. That part when they're drinking together is like the funniest moment, like one of the great moments in the, really setting up the tone of the MCU. And it's like, no, I'm not going to have a drink. And then cut to, they're both like arms around each other, and it's perfect. And you're right. I think Don Cheadle he's a guy who's been working for decades. I mean, this is a guy who was kicking it Golden Palace style way back in the day with, Rue McClanahan and B. Arthur. So he just is a great worker. He's a great performer. But when they replaced him, it really was, they took away a lot of the personality that Rhodes had in that first movie. And so he's always good. I mean, he showed up for 2 minutes in Winter Soldier, and he got nominated for an Emmy. I mean, he is always good. He's never going to miss a mark. He's never going to miss a beat. but they did make a conscious choice, like you were saying, to kind of make Rhodes a different kind of dude. And I'm curious now, like that he's going to get War Machine, he's going to get, or Iron, the Armor Wars.
Yeah.
I do hope that gives Don Cheadle more of a chance, because Don Cheadle is a great supporting actor, but he also has been a great leading man in more than one film. And if y'all have never seen Devil in the Blue Dress, which really was like Don Cheadle's kind of coming out party as a real major performer, like check it out, because he like steals the whole movie from a cast that features Denzel Washington. That's no small feat. So another thing that came down the pike was kind of a cryptic message from Michael Keaton. Michael Shirley, I'm not sure if you have that as well.
Yeah.
So the idea of like, okay, how much Michael Keaton are we getting? And if my share was working, I might share the image from Multiplicity right now, because Michael Keaton, like for a guy who kind of disappeared for a while, he's everywhere right now. And he just got a Screen Actors Guild Award the other day for Dope Sick.
It's all coming up, Michael Keaton.
So, and once again, sorry for the ads. Blackcast does not represent the views presented by the ads on this webpage.
Here's his face, Eric. There you go.
There's his face. But if you scroll down, he had some weird thing he shared that was like, maybe
here we go.
Does that mean something to y'all? Because I was looking at that, I'm like,
music.
No, I know. Thank you. That piece I got.
No, a little too.
Little A-Tombs work today. And so I guess it begs that question, y'all. What's Keaton doing? What's Tombs up to?
When did that one post? When was this image posted? Does it say?
It was recent. I'm gonna say within the last couple of days.
It doesn't say on here.
Because Michael Keaton was on Kimmel like a month ago, and he was saying that he was doing some reshoots for Vulture, like for his Vulture role. And I was assuming, or no, it was more than months ago, because it was before Spider-Man. I was assuming it was for Spider-Man or potentially Morbius, but like now it's not Spider-Man. So like if he's doing reshoots for Spider-Man or for Morbius, and they're trying to make this bigger, maybe it's against Andrew Garfield, who just said he has no future plans in the MCU. But we'll see. Or Tobey Maguire, who's probably Tobey Maguire, who's going to be in the Madness movie. So it's like there's so many options.
Yeah, Michael, you were saying?
They all say that. It's like the limit is what the Kevin Feige or Feige's brain can come up with at this point.
And as well.
And they're not getting chump change for these roles. I'm sure they're getting good money for dropping into these movies. So I think if the price is right and the story's good, no one really wants to be, to go back to Terrence Howard, no one wants to be Terrence. I don't really actually know how that played out, if the studio got rid of him or if
I already asked for too much money.
Yeah, what I heard was, he just wanted to not get paid, like, I don't know, 5% of what Robert Downey was getting paid, which is
right.
Fair.
Is he wrong though? Because like at that point in time,
no,
he was starring in movies.
Then.
Robert Downey Jr. was struggling.
Yeah.
And then he leaves this TV show to do this movie to do to lead multiple TV shows. So it's not like he was struggling. But
I just found the physicality of the actors to be so jarring. One is like a very like large, thicker guy, and the other guy is very small. And his complexion is totally different. They just have totally different personalities, the way they speak. Like it was just, I don't know. It was just a Lacey Goranson move for me, and I just, didn't really like it.
This is why if I'm replaced, I want Zach Galifianakis, but not the thinner version of him. I want
that's who you would want to replace you on this show and go by.
The beefier version of him. Either that or the dad from Teen Wolf, if he's still alive. Either or. I don't know the actors. Oh, that is a lady.
Oh, okay.
Who's
my God, it's girls.
I didn't know if you knew the person or if it was just someone walking down the street.
That's the fireman.
That's a random dog too.
Fire
no,
woman.
you've heard that dog many a time. He's
Sorry,
let his presence be known.
back to your whole Michael Keaton thing.
Yes.
You're real
Wait, so what do
interested on that?
Well, what's more of a matter of like, what is it for? I mean, is it going to be? Is it? But the idea that it's reshoots for Morbius is, by the way, my favorite theory because that thing has been in dry dock for like years now, and the idea that they would actually—I don't think it is reshoots for Morbius, honestly, but maybe. I mean, who knows? It's been. Go ahead, Jeff.
Sorry, I was gonna say they've been doing reshoots for Doctor Strange up until January, and like this is a movie that they know is gonna do well, and that is Marvel. So like, if Marvel has any say in a Sony film, they're like, nah, keep pushing that thing back real quick because we're gonna give you some actual good footage. I feel like it's more important for them to like make this good rather than to make this another flop or another fail or something, because I think that's why they're pushing more into making reshoots for this. I mean, I don't see why they would move it from where I think it was like January to April or something without doing another reshoots, because the 3 months hasn't changed anything in the ticket sales if you think about it.
Yeah. But no, I think you're right. It's kind of like now they've had more time to think about it, and also Spider-Man made so much money that then it's like, okay, like we might need to rethink a little bit of what we did here. So it's a good point, right? It's like maybe, all right, we got a couple $1 million floating around, or maybe 10 million floating around. Let's get Michael Keaton in. Let's get maybe another performer, maybe a Craven cameo, who knows, and actually tie this in better. You know, ride the wave of like excitement for the Spider-Man part of the MCU. And you know, it's also Sony's lifeline. So
Cammy Egan just said that the final Morbius trailer looks fantastic and Jared Leto looks incredible, and I'm happy for that. But I think I told you guys this earlier. I haven't seen the last trailer because at this point I know I'm going to see the movie, and I know they're overselling it in the fact that like they might show us too much. So like I don't want to see any more trailers. But I'm glad it looks good.
Well, any other thoughts on this topic before moving on? Michael, I never want to silence you. You might be in a corner in your house, but you're never in a corner in my heart.
No, I don't know. I think that we should show off the new Moon Knight poster.
Mr.
You guys seen it?
You have it? Do you have access?
I do.
Media Master.
I think. Hold on. I'm working on it.
Hold on. I'm sharing this while you're bringing it up. Could be interesting if he were filming something as Ned. Wait, Ned as in Ned, the buddy from Spider-Man. Which listen.
Daniel Drew posted earlier saying that there's an IG post and story where Jacob is in the Ned wig, and unless that was for fun or he could be filming something, I don't know if he was allowed to keep it. So he might be saying that Ned and Michael Keaton might be doing something, which could be like some Hobgoblin type deal, but like they didn't even tease that in Spider-Man. So
I like the idea that Ned went to MIT and he hated it so much that it turned him evil. You know, like he cracked under the pressure of doing all those algorithms. So Moon Knight, take it away. Oh, it went away.
Oh, it's like I'm having a hard time finding like a actual good picture of it.
That's pretty good.
It's like cutting it off. You can't see.
Can you click on it?
Can you? Yeah, I do that, and it just opens up another window. Like
That's weird.
Oh.
Yeah, for all the Marvelites out there, I know we're never supposed to sort of reveal how the sausage is made. You can see the sausage got burnt. That is cool. Thank you, Michael. That is awesome. Oh, that is so cool.
So I'm really pumped for this series.
Yeah.
Just the way that Oscar Isaac's talking about it, the way that Kevin Feige's talking about it, the way that we now have rated R products on DC or Disney Plus. Like, I'm excited for what this could bring into the MCU, and Oscar Isaac's a huge actor, so I'm pumped.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great image.
The poster looks pretty good.
It's funny too because it feels like, I mean, can you think of any other sort of big properties right now? Like, we're waiting until summer for like Stranger Things. So even beyond the sort of MCU and the Star Wars universe, like it feels like there's just not that many exciting new shows coming out for a while. So Moon Knight's
Mhm.
taking up, I feel like, a lot of the sort of real estate for just general excitement. It's not just Marvel fans, but as TV watchers. I think to have a show with that kind of pedigree is really I don't know. I mean, March 30th can't come soon enough. Well, in this discussion, so one thing I asked my beloved colleagues here to consider is, as you all probably know, now Marvel is officially, the Marvel R-rated shows from like Netflix officially going over to Disney Plus, which is pretty exciting. Even though, well, it was just on Netflix a little while ago, so it's just the difference of, do I click on this screen or that screen to watch it? But what that means for Disney Plus is really interesting. And so I asked these guys to come up with like, all right, now, by the way, the day that these shows get released, they are going to have a special feature for reminding parents, like, hey, do you want to set parental controls so your kids don't see too much side boob? And I think that's the actual language of it. So for myself, as a not what I'd call a classically decent parent, I don't care. My kids will be fine with a little side boob, I think. Just don't tell them. But for you guys, what do you think would then be the fun sort of family-friendly version of some of these R-rated Marvel properties? Michael, I know you have something off the
But I want
bat.
Jeff to go first.
Well, Jeff, do you have something? I didn't want to put Jeff on the spot. See, I care
So
about my
I
kids.
do.
I take care of
no,
my kids. Go ahead, Jeff.
no, it's all good. The first thing that I thought was like how to make Iron Fist fun, because Iron Fist was so boring and like he just wasn't like, he was established, I guess, but it just didn't connect with me. So I want to see like a world where him and like Colleen are running some school. I don't know what it is, but like they're like raising the
You with
younger
the
version.
schools, man.
I know. I want like a
Why
younger
is it
version of
the
Iron Fist.
schools?
But I think it'll be fun because like we always see these superheroes that are always adults, and like the Supermans, the Batmans, the Justice League. Give me like some Sky High. Give me some kid superheroes. Give me the Young Justice. I want to see that in real life, and I feel like if we're gonna make it fun, we're gonna make Iron Fist do anything. Just make him a teacher.
Well, I like the idea of him ruling a class with an iron fist. So get into
Look,
some Lean on Me, Dangerous Minds territory.
that's my, him and Colleen could be best buddies. And
What
I
is
mean, they
this
already
one
worked.
called? The last one, was it called Marvel High? What is this one called?
Oh gosh.
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist Vocational School.
Iron Fist. Iron Fist Public. I don't know. I gotta work on it.
Fist High.
Where do they go? Where does Iron Fist go when he's like, I forgot what it's called, where he got his powers. I was gonna say do a play on words of that. Was it like Kun Li? I can't remember what it was called.
Kung
Either
Lao,
way.
I think, right?
Kung
No,
Li
Kung
Mary
Lao, that's
Academy.
the guy in Mortal Kombat.
Dang. Either way, all good. That's what I want. I need Iron Fist to do something beneficial. So teach some kids some power.
Michael and I will do mock-ups of what your dream school will look like. That's our homework for the next week. And by the way, for all
like
you
X-Men Evolution.
all you
Kung
fabulous
Lao, there we go.
Marvelites, by the way,
Thank
please
you,
share your
Chief House.
suggestions in the chat for what do you think would be a fun, family-friendly version of an R-rated Marvel property. So, Michael, Shirley, I know you had one too. You able to share those images that you sent me?
I mean, I guess a little bit. My idea, which I think is a really great idea that Marvel should jump on board with, is the idea for a Daredevil the animated series. And as you can see, I pulled up this episode that he was in, the Amazing Spider-Man animated series, and I think it would be really fun because with the new X-Men series coming out, what is it, X-Men 92, I think that's what it's called, or X-Men 96, I forget. But in the same animation style. That would be really cool to see them revive these shows. Like, I remember back in those days, it was Spider-Man and Iron Man and Fantastic Four. They all had these, and the X-Men. They all had these little animated shows on Fox Kids, and I thought that was about as family friendly, as I could get.
You like your Daredevil a little more cuddly?
Yeah, instead of like Peter Parker, going out and getting photographs, every episode, like kind of running into trouble, he's like representing like thugs.
Mm-hmm. I think that could be cool, especially on an animated side. You can make that kind of more lighthearted, and then also show, like, I feel like you could showcase more of like him being blind, and then like maybe open up avenues and like you can just discussions about being blind and how he works through that or work through that as a kid. I don't know. I think there's like just ways and storylines that you can kind of elaborate on with the Daredevil character. I would love to see an animation as well.
Yeah, I think I'm full of these good ideas. Somebody needs to call up Marvel and pitch me.
Fun fact. I have a friend that's interviewing for Marvel on Friday, so I am praying hard for him.
What kind of job is it for?
It's a post-tech manager. So I'm just post-production.
Exciting.
But I mean, like it's still Marvel production, so like he would definitely be an insider.
Well, don't want to give his name away.
Exactly. He's interviewing next Saturday. We're just thought that way. So even if anyone from Marvel's watching, I don't know who I'm talking about.
Never.
And that's it.
All of a sudden, like that guy's career is destroyed with just this one comment. Like literally, you just cut to, Kevin Feige. All he does all day is listen for this kind of thing, and he hits a button, and then all of a sudden that guy is gone, never to be heard from again.
The interview is just canceled from his calendar and everything.
If that happens, why.
That would be wild.
Well, so it's interesting because you're all...
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Michael.
Oh, I was going to say, well, what's yours? But no, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, before I get to mine, because I'm trying to see if I can actually share the media on my end. It's a valiant effort I'm doing here with my many hands.
Did you make a picture?
I did. So first of all, Cammy Egan, I would do Avengers: The Age of Geriatrics, and on that end, I believe Miss Faxon sees you and raises you. Yes, and I don't. I think the idea of Avengers as sort of, to use the term in Yiddish, altakacas, which means old shitters. Something about them now not being in a school, but quite the opposite. All of them together, the powers starting to wane in a retirement center, letting the new younger Avengers take the helm, and then they got to dust off their suits and get back out of retirement and get out there. I love everything about this idea. I think,
I think we might have to wait 30 years for that.
I don't know. I mean, some of these people are pretty old. Like, you just sort of, instead of giving them makeup, you just sort of stop giving them Botox. And let's see. I mean, Hugh Jackman, I think, is 85 years old. Patrick Stewart is 120. I mean, they're not young. So we're closer to that. And especially, too, with, like, what they did with Hawkeye. And one of the things I really enjoyed about it was seeing, Hawkeye dealing with very basic human things, like he's losing his hearing. And getting old. I think there's actually something really fascinating about that. But though, a counterpoint, powers don't wane. How I wish that was true. Yes, some powers do wane. You'll find out as you get older, my son. But the truth is, I think there could be really kind of great stories there too. I mean, the Old Man Logan, the comic series, I thought was great. So, I mean, I think like that is a potential place you could take it. And I'm curious right now. Like, they've wrapped on Indiana Jones 5. Is Harrison Ford just going to be sitting like a lot? Like, I mean, in essence, or just driving cars? Because it's like, how are they going to that dude is
Yeah.
not young. And I mean, even like the smallest of bumps, that's an age where you could just break something. And remember too, this guy's broken bones on like multiple sets, crashed multiple planes, and yet they're still going at it with him. Well, let me.
We are going here today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Race, ageism.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Yes. How much time does like our power last? You
Right.
know?
Performance issues. Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Exactly.
That's not me.
all the same discussion.
Well, hopefully I can get this PDF up and running for y'all because I
Did you
I have
edit
to
something
admit,
in Photoshop?
that might have happened. I got to admit, I also decided to go a little bit younger because I was thinking like, all right, we all love
Like
the
Muppet
Punisher.
Babies?
Well, yeah, in fact, Muppet Babies, which has come back, I understand. I think there is a new Muppet Babies, as there should always be another Muppet
Send
Babies.
me your
But
picture, Eric, on
no,
like
I
a
think
text
I might be
message.
able to do this one myself. I think I can get it to work.
Okay.
So give me one moment here. So yes, I was thinking about, all right, well, where haven't they gone before? And truly, where it is in essence, the Punisher. So the Punisher, everyone's like, oh, he's too violent. Oh, he likes to kill people dead, all these things. But in my mind, it's like, oh, but there's, if you've ever seen a child truly get enraged, it's not that far off from the Punisher. To be honest, like it feels like most of my life has elements of the Punisher now in it, especially as I have a 13-year-old in this house. So if you will allow me to share, I am calling this show the Punisher. So if you, it's processing, of course. It just nothing's working for me on the tech end. We almost burnt our house down. Here we go.
Oh, there it is.
Adding to stream.
That's
so
cool.
Yes, a mild Photoshop job, Michael Shirley. So this was actually an existing Marvel title, was the Punisher with just
yeah, and you
bit
put a
of
little
wide.
L, a tilted L on top.
Yeah, Punisher becomes Punisher. And what I was really excited though was about this sort of rogues gallery of villains and oh no,
What?
sideways. So on the bottom
Everyone
there,
turn your heads.
If you
You're
just turn your
invited.
computer screen, we got Lauren Boebert's kids with their guns. One of our great congresswomen. So puny heroes and villains and big smiles. So I'm thinking the kids from like Village of the Damned or the leech woman from Puppet Master as potential villains. So
what's that last picture going?
Oh, you don't recognize Leech Woman from Puppet Master?
Mm.
One of the greats. So yes, I think Punisher, which sounds weird, but it looks good. I promise. It's just weird to the ears and to the tongue. So yes, I think. Wait, hold on one sec. Set to remove. Here we go. So yes, the Punisher coming your way, 2025. And it's not. I don't want it to be a cartoon though. I want it to be live action, kids doing effed up stuff. And also an important lesson I learned: don't Google kids with guns, because then you see lots of pictures of kids with guns.
You're on so many lists at this
I
point.
know. Well, it's good I use Jeff Will Jr. as my sign-in because
all good.
That shit
There's
goes,
none they haven't seen. None they
it
haven't
goes through
seen.
servers in Indiana and Ohio, so it doesn't hit me at all. So we're good.
Exactly.
I've been using Jeff Will the third, so.
Well, then my son might. My son
years, you're gonna be like, why do I have all these like? Who took out credit cards in my son's name before he was even born?
Oh god. So by the way, just in keeping with the themes of today.
But they do get pimples, that's for damn sure. Just pissed off about it.
Jew ink Lou is what I say about my own body. So I also ask you guys about favorite scenes, but I see we're almost at 12, and then I gotta like go and work, and Jeff's gotta work, and Michael is wanted for many crimes. against humanity.
crimes.
He's always one step ahead of U.S. Marshals, never in the same place twice. And also, hopefully, the smell of smoke. And here, I'll give you one close up of this.
What were you cooking?
Wait, so there's that's an electrical unit.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And you put that on top of the
I
stove?
did not.
I mean,
I'm not
but
saying who did, but I will say there's another human who lives in my house who is not me, who may have shown up. So I will fall on any sword I cause. But
question.
Yes.
When that person put it on top of the stove, did they also plug in the outlet to think that like the power should come through two different units?
Listen.
So
Listen, I've been married to her for 18 years, all right? Not every day.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me your kid did this.
No.
no.
Okay, so a grown woman did this.
What I thought was a grown woman.
She put it on a hot burner?
No, she didn't, but she put it too close to a hot burner in her defense.
Okay.
Yeah,
for like years or just for like the afternoon?
For years.
Okay, so
we moved into this house in
doing
2008. In essence, I heard the fire alarm, and I come out, and literally that thing's on fire.
Jeez.
So you weren't even cooking in it.
I don't know what was in it. All I know was what was around it, which was flames. And grabbed the fire extinguisher. Didn't work, by the way, because I'm in Philadelphia today. And in essence, a bunch of water and towels later and a whole bunch of burnt plastic. Here I am outside, unable to share my screen because, again, Philadelphia. But still happy to see everyone. So I think before we get into even more dangerous waters or lightning strikes me or some shit, we could wrap up. But Jeff Will Jr., I know you've got a movie hanging out on Amazon waiting for some love. Care to tell us about it?
I appreciate you tossing that to me. Yeah, Book of Love is on Prime Video on all across the United States. If you're in the UK, it is on Sky. If you are, yep. I was going to say anywhere else, it's not available yet. So US Prime Video, UK Sky, and go check out Book of Love because we need all the love we can get.
What is it about?
It's about a UK writer who doesn't really understand love, but he is writing a love novel. It doesn't do well, so his book is translated into translated into Spanish, but the Spanish translation turns it into a telenovela. So when he goes onto a book tour and checks out why my book is doing so well in Mexico, the telenovela, the author, and the translator turn into a rom-com. And
so this
it's a fun. No. This is a romance. This is a rom-com starring Sam Claflin and Veronica Checchi. And yeah, it just came out.
And by the way, I mean that description's awesome. I mean that really sounds like how can you do a romantic comedy in 2022? Well, that's how. Like you got to be a bit ironic about it and a touch meta.
100%.
And it's that sounds great.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot of culture clashing when a staunchy writer from UK doesn't know anything about love, and you're going into Mexico, whole different language, telenovela. It's a lot. It's really fun, and it's a fun movie to check out. And it was my first film credit, so I'm gonna keep pumping it up.
Did you act in it, or did you do something?
No. I lead the marketing for it, so I got credit for that. There is a movie that I lead the marketing for that comes out in October. I am a background actor because I was on set and they needed someone. So you see me just like walk in the back of Dear David. It comes out in October. So
what is it?
Dear David. It's a thriller that comes out in October.
Cool.
Rumor has it you're the most thrilling part of it.
I mean, I can't confirm nor deny, but yes.
If they give SAG awards for best background actor, I hear you're in the running. Maybe even better than my buddy who was in Fallen with Denzel Washington and made a point of capturing the light and turning towards the camera. He's the worst extra you've ever seen. Every time that movie's on cable, I take a picture of it and I send it to him. And I go, Fallen, Noah Sfera in Fallen. Yes, I name checked him, featuring Denzel Washington. Michael Shirley, the man who really truly did write the Book of Love. And then rewrote it into the Book of maybe not hate, but definitely not love. What you got going on in your life?
I've been hosting this Marvel show through Wednesday. Just hiding away, waiting for the world to like calm down.
Have you seen
You know,
any
feel that.
Spider-Man movies? I know people our capacity crowd is all wondering.
not
All
any
right.
ones that I haven't seen
Well-
any since we last spoke. Yeah, no new ones.
Yeah, I was supposed to say the digital one comes out the 22nd, so we still got a while before that happens.
And our Kickstarter campaign has already made $3.81. Buy Michael Shirley a digital copy. It will go to a good cause, to a man who needs it.
Well, then we can already afford Spider-Man Far From Home.
That's
That
right.
one's just
That's right.
$2.99 right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No. Well, listen. But
Hmm.
we're aiming our sights bigger. We're aiming multiverse. So, Michael, where can they find you when they're not watching Spider-Man themselves?
You guys can find me on Instagram sometimes. I'm just like really not doing much.
But where can they find you if you are doing
Michael
it?
Shirley on Instagram and Michael actually.
Damn it, I was early.
I did an L. I did an L, not even an X. Well, and I appreciate all y'all's patience and tolerance for a day of wonderful chaos. But there's no one I'd rather have in a leaky boat than these two fine men. And Christian Blatt, we wish him and his family well. He is a king amongst princes and princesses. So wishing Christian well. He will return in a bloodless coup this week. And you can, of course, find him all over the Blattcast. And you can find me staring a lot at Count Eric Connor over on Instagram and Twitter. And I will take us out until they block it with The Book of Love by the Magnetic Fields. Thank you for joining us. And as Christian Blatt would say, because he's quoting Stan Lee and the motto of New York, Excelsior.
How we're doing it.
Yes.
We're gonna get sued, y'all.